a sunset in the desert. We've had a great trip so far. I wanted to give you a little recap. So we had a long weekend here in April. Wanted to go camping with the family. The initial plan was to just go take some mountain bikes to the Fruita area where it's usually nice and warm. There was a storm hitting. So April, the weather can definitely be squirrely in Colorado and the Rockies. So we knew there was a snowstorm coming. We were still interested in going out. So what we did is we kind of pivoted and decided to bring skis and bikes and a van. Initially, we were just going to take a truck, one of our trucks, and camp in a rooftop tent. But switching to the van was a key play because the weather was quite a bit chillier and snowier than we had initially thought. We left our house in the Denver area, went to Loveland ski area for the first day, got about a foot of powder there, and had a really fun time skiing. A little challenging with the kids and that much snow. But it was pretty cool to have that much of a powder in April. When we were ready to go and keep going west, however, the interstate I-70 shut down. The weather was pretty rough. The roads were getting a little nasty, and they decided to close the highway. So we were waiting around quite a bit, and it was really nice to have the van for that because we could hang out on the parking lot in the heated van. We had a bathroom. The kids watched something on the bed. We were able to kind of hang out for a little while, and it was really nice to have the van for that. Morning. We had an interesting day after skiing. We got a ton of powder at Loveland, which was really fun. But the interstate I-70 was closing off and on quite a bit. We were actually fortunate that we hung out at the parking lot for Loveland for a while and could see it stopped. We actually went down the other way to Georgetown and had dinner. Highway was opening, so we decided to keep trying to drive. Got really slow. Long story short, this is a spot we don't usually hang out too much, but we camped at a Walmart in Frisco last night. The highway was just getting too nasty. Tell you what though, it's so nice to have a van. Sometimes we were stopped. The kids were just watching videos, and we had food, we had heat, we had water, kind of everything we needed. We felt really lucky to be in a van when the weather and the roads were silly. Try to keep making our way over to the western slope to Grand Junction. Might stop at Hot Springs along the way. After several hours of waiting, we went and actually had dinner somewhere, and then the road did open up. So then we woke up the next morning, made our way over Vail Pass, and went to Glenwood Springs, and we went to the hot springs there, which are really fun, a little pricey, but really easy with the kids. And we stayed there for a couple hours, had a nice soak, and then we kept heading west towards Fruita and Grand Junction. Our stop there was to do a ride in the Rabbit Valley and Kokopelli area, and we did like a 5-mile mountain bike ride. And part of it was a loop, and we went over to an overlook and was right on the Colorado River. It was really pretty, a good ride, kind of a good one for beginners. That night, we went to Colorado National Monument and got a campsite there. Loop C is my favorite. It's really close to the edge of the canyon, and we had a really pretty sunset, and we went and walked down to Window Rock from our campsite at sunset. Really pretty looking down into the canyon there, and that was a lot of fun. The next morning we drove back down but stayed in Colorado National Monument and did a hike. So the girls went for a little run up into kind of the lower part of the canyon where you see a lot of those monument towers. Did that for a couple hours, and then it was time to head kind of across Fruita to the north, and we went to the area called 18 Road, which is a really well-known mountain biking area, and they've got a couple campgrounds up here. And the way it works is it's kind of a little sloped as you're coming up to the foothills of the mountains. They call them the Book Cliff Hills, and you sort of park low, ride up, and then you come down these downhill only trails. There's also campgrounds up high, and that's where we are right now. And we're able to ride right from camp and do some loops. We did like a 5 or 6 mile loop with the kids today in this area. And it's a pretty neat area that the campsites, we're in Loop C again. We got a really cool spot. We was able to shower off a little bit with the van which is also a nice thing about it. This area is full of families and kids also doing other rides, and it's a pretty neat area. A lot's going on. But definitely know it's a lot of up, and then you turn down and it's down, and then if you want to go back up, it's kind of a lot of like loops, but they have several sort of parallel in different areas. So it's getting to be sunset, really pretty evening. Kind of the weather has just been really nice kind of once we made it through that snowstorm stuff. It's in the 60s, not too much wind. Feels really nice. It's not too hot. It'll probably be in the 30s tonight, and we'll be nice and toasty again in the van. So just a really fun trip. Again, kind of calling it like a surf and turf. We did everything in Colorado you can do in the spring. Skied Powder, then headed towards the western slope of Colorado and did some great mountain biking in the desert area. Pretty neat to be able to do that. The van was awesome for that. Our skis are loaded into the bathroom area. We've got our bikes on the back. We have a lot of gear in the van, but it doesn't feel super packed. Making all of our meals in the van. We even bought some ice cream sandwiches and tossed them in the freezer and had those a little bit later. So really fun experience, great desert trip, and I hope you get to do one yourself.